Hey all you people, what's going on? Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the second generation Honda CR-V. We'll look at its design, price point, practicality, performance, drawbacks, and finally its reliability. All right, let's get to it. As far as design goes, I've always really liked the way that these were styled, even the generation before this too. They're very squared off, but in a good way. And the big headlights and smiling front fascia are classic early 2000s Honda. During the run of the second gen CR-V between 2002 and 2006, Honda did refresh a few things, minor things, exterior trim, lights, wheels, but for the most part, it stayed the same. The interior is really similar to the exterior in the way that it's squared off. Everything is really simple, ergonomical, and well put together. Absolutely no thrills. The beige color match between the interior and exterior is kind of funny. Kind of feels like a 1970s living room, but it works. Okay, let's talk about the price point of the second gen CR-V. I think that they're right in the sweet spot. You can find a higher mileage example of one of these for between $2,000 and $3,000 that might need a little bit of work, or you can find one between 7 and 11 or 12 grand with absurdly low mileage. This one actually my friend got at 99,000 miles for $3,000, but it did need some work. So these make pretty good cars for someone who wants a practical, reliable vehicle with decent resale value. It's pretty average. So as far as practicality goes, it is very hard to beat a CR-V. Look how tall the roof is in here. This is crazy. With none of that sloping back design like so many modern cars do, Honda was able to maximize the cargo capacity in the back here. And with the spare tire mounted to the door, Honda was able to make this load surface nice and low and flat. Plus, I personally think SUVs look cool with the spare tire mounted to the back, makes them look more rugged, but that's just me. You also get this incredibly flat floor throughout the entire cabin, which is crazy because there's a drive shaft ring underneath your feet. And as for a relatively small crossover, it feels more spacious than pretty much all of its competitors. And do you want to see a neat party trick? Literally, it's a party trick. Check this out. Genuine Honda picnic table. The most reliable picnic table in all of Japan. Then you can just sit here, enjoy your snacks, celebrate some birthdays, woo! Or if you're a millennial living in your car, like most millennials do, you can start an illegal lemonade stand here, out of the back of your car. Sure, that table's pretty cool, but I still have to ask the most important question. Will it sleep a not-so-handy car guy? Oh. Ha! All right. Okay. Oh. I'm 6 feet tall, and no, this does not sleep a not-so-handy car guy unless you take these out. This is a job for the tape measure of truth. I guess to there. 6 feet's right in line with the driver's seat. If you move both the seats forward, remove these and put a twin air mattress here, it could probably sleep me. Nice. Nice. Okay, here it goes. We are 6 feet tall in the back seat. Tons of headroom, plenty of legroom. Plus, you don't find this often in small SUVs. The seats, whoa, they recline quite a bit actually. Middle seat, not so comfortable. I have a big booty, but it's hitting both seatbelt latches down here. And if someone reclines this seat, oh gosh, now it's uneven. Ready? i-vtec! Woo! 50! Alrighty, onto the performance aspect of the Honda CR-V. there really isn't too much to talk about here. It uses a variant of the K24 engine from Honda, the 2.4-liter four-cylinder, and this engine, with its variable valve timing, produces 160 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 160 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. And apparently this powertrain is able to push the CR-V from 0 to 60 in 10 seconds, which is pretty slow by today's standards, but we should test that just to make sure. Ready?
30. 60.
I feel like that was pretty quick. Yeah, 9.56 seconds. Okay, although our 0 to 60 was quicker than advertised, this thing still isn't what I'd call exhilarating. But the CR-V does have fairly nimble handling, which helps make it a little more fun to drive. With the towing package included, the CR-V was able to tow about 1,500 pounds, which is not great. It's about the same as most cars of that era. So if you're looking to tow anything serious, you might want to consider going to something with a more robust powertrain. As for fuel economy, it does sip fuel, like especially for an older crossover. It's rated at 23 city and 28 highway. Now, onto the reason why most people will buy a crossover like this, for its all-wheel drive system, or real-time four-wheel drive, as Honda calls it. The CR-V's drivetrain is front-wheel biased, but what it does is when it senses slippage under acceleration, it uses this dual-pump hydraulic system to engage a clutch pack in the rear differential, splitting the torque between the front and rear axle. And that's why it's real-time, because it engages only when it senses slippage. So what do you say? Should we test it out in some fresh pow? Yeah, I think we should. This could definitely benefit from some better tires, but the four-wheel drive system seemed to engage perfectly, although it is a little noisy, but we will get to that in just a second. As good a car as the CR-V is, it is going to have some drawbacks. So this is what I found. The biggest drawback, in my opinion, is the lack of different powertrain options. The 2.4-liter under the hood is good for most situations, but its competitors of the day offered a variety of powertrain options, like the Toyota RAV4, for instance, which offered a 4-cylinder or a V6. Another drawback I found is the road noise that makes it into the cabin. And this is actually the same with a lot of Hondas from this era. They don't really have a lot of sound insulation, so if you're going for a plush, comfortable, quiet ride, I would recommend going with a Toyota instead. Another drawback I found, and this isn't a big one for most people looking for just a reliable vehicle, is the stock sound system. It really lacks clarity, especially when you crank up the volume. The stock speakers tend to distort. And even this one, with its upgraded Pioneer head unit, it still lacks that clarity. Okay, so you saw the thumbnail of this video, so now you're probably wondering, how reliable is the second-gen CR-V? In general, these are very reliable cars. Honda, as a company, is first and foremost an engine manufacturer, and I still think that they make some of the best engines in the world. There aren't too many issues with the K24 engine, but the known issues are the front crank seal leaking, excessive cam lobe exhaust wear, and also timing chain tensioner wear. There isn't too much you can do about the leaky seal, but the other two, the cams and the timing chain tensioner, both of those can be avoided by regularly changing your oil and making sure that it's good quality oil. If you stay on top of your oil changes, get fresh spark plugs, change ignition coils when they need changing, and do a valve adjustment around every 100,000 miles, the K-Series engine, they will have no issue going well over 300,000 miles. Now, as far as reliability issues go beyond the engine, most Hondas of this era have similar weak points. Number one is small electrical issues, usually caused by either bad grounds or faulty sensors. Number two is transmission issues. And you can see that this particular CR-V does have some of those electrical issues. The e-brake light is staying on. The power locks don't work either from inside or from the key fob. and the dome light doesn't turn on when you open the doors. This transmission actually shifts really well, but a lot of people experience hard shifts between first and second gear or transmission failure, especially in the earlier years of a new CR-V model. Along with regular oil changes, a transmission fluid flush is often overlooked, but the key to transmission longevity is by changing that fluid out before it gets old. And it's best to use Honda genuine transmission fluid. Another issue is the P1457 fault code, which means that the evap system is getting clogged up. Not a huge deal, but it means you could fail inspection. This CR-V actually has that issue right now. Another common issue is the AC system failing, which this car has. Apparently it's the AC compressor degrading internally, and it's just deciding to not be a compressor anymore. Lastly, one of the biggest recurring issues is when you turn tightly in this. Here, listen. Try and listen for this chatter. You don't have to listen, you can see it. There's like a shuddering in the drivetrain. And what that usually is the clutch pack and the rear differential binding up when the outside wheel wants to turn faster than the inside wheel. This can usually be fixed by swapping out the old differential fluid, but if you do this, make sure you use the Honda genuine dual pump fluid. Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing any more 0 to 60s though, because it's definitely not good for our differential that's already binding up. So who exactly is the second gen Honda CR-V for? In my opinion, it's for the kind of person who lives an active lifestyle, who wants decent gas mileage as well as interior versatility and overall durability. It's probably for a similar kind of person who's also looking at a Subaru Forester or a Toyota RAV4, someone who's trying to get a combination of legendary Japanese reliability and the ruggedness of an all-wheel drive system. It is a fantastic commuter car with the ability to haul you and all your stuff to a weekend getaway in ski country. On that note, thank you all for joining me, and I hope if you enjoyed this, you'll consider subscribing for more content like this. Okay, take care now. Bye-bye then. Snow! I see some snow. Snow, thank you.